Check 1, 2, time up.
Yeah, one.
Oh, round 2.
Man, my knees are beat.
Your knees are beat. Your microphone looks a little flimsy. I think he's all right, though.
Bro, this is like at
Did
the
you-
end of the night where you're fucking drunk and you're just trying to get home, you know?
Yeah.
You're all fucked up.
You're all messed
We're
up.
going to McDonald's anyway. Fuck
We're
you.
doing it. We're doing it. Ah, yes. The homies have made it in. Powerade is out. What did I want to tell you, Max? Oh, yeah, you rolled today. You did the whole open mat.
I had good rolls, dude.
Really?
I smashed everyone.
Wow. Dude, we got to operate on the reframe of last time. That shouldn't dictate your success.
Smashing?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, last time we were talking about
Yeah.
finding a way to feel accomplished regardless of the outcomes of the rolls.
Yeah, but it feels good to smash people, bro.
It does. It
Dude.
does feel good.
Everybody knows that winning feels good.
It does.
Like, I smashed, I tapped, you know, white belts, blue belts.
Everybody we want.
I went up against a purple belt. I didn't smash, but I felt good about it.
You know, I think that's a good thing. I have a lot to say today, actually. I had a crazy experience last weekend with the tournament. I went to New Jersey, remember?
Dude, by the way, you went to Cracker Barrel with Jen?
Yeah.
It registered in my mind. I was watching videos of Cracker Barrels because I'm a fucking Cracker Barrel addict.
Yes.
And then it registered like, wait, Jen was with Abby.
Yeah.
You brought Jen to Cracker Barrel.
Dude,
how
what-
did she like it?
She loved it. She had a steak. I was like, all right.
That is the boss move, bro.
Dude, it was amazing. The whole meal was amazing. The experience was amazing. You want me to tell you something super
Yeah.
crazy? The divine jiu-jitsu God delivered that day.
Yeah.
Bro, in the car, we're driving. You know, for whatever reason, she's like, hey, my lips are dry. And it was like a thing. She was like, oh, I ran out of chapstick. I don't know what. So for like a solid 20 minutes, we're talking about, hey, the temperature changed, so, you know, you dry up. I felt like my lips were dry at this time.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's kind of normal. And she's like, you know, there's no good, what's it called, chapstick or whatever, lip balms or whatever. At one point, I see the Cracker Barrel sign, and I'm like, yo, we're going to Cracker Barrel. Drive to Cracker Barrel. I felt like it was the same Cracker Barrel that we went to. So I was
Okay.
like, is it? But I was like, no, this can't be. Like,
I think they all look the same. They
dude,
all have
the
the same
parking
building.
lot looked the same. Everything looked the same. Like,
You know the one that we went into? We had to cross a little bridge, and it was in like a presqu'île almost.
yeah, that part was the same.
What the
I was
fuck?
like, wait, am I at the same one? I started
Are they
questioning
digging moats
Dude,
around
it was
their
crazy.
fucking?
I couldn't understand.
They're ready for the apocalypse, dude.
Big time. We go in, we have an epic meal. I had a fried chicken sandwich, thick like this. It was amazing. We're walking out. Does not Cracker Barrel deliver a whole section of lip balms? Fancy lip balms at Cracker Barrel. Bro, she lit up. She was so happy, and I was like, look at this. Cracker Barrel delivering again.
That's
she bought
points
like,
right there.
yeah, it was huge points. And then I was like, it's probably gonna be the best lip balm you ever had. It was like goat's milk or something. Anyways, it was fantastic. It was a big win. And she was like, I like that place. And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
Everything about it was great. The waitress was an angel. The service was super fast. The food was delicious.
It's the best, bro.
It's the best.
Their pancakes are good.
Everything was amazing, dude.
They have grits. I remember, dude, mac and cheese. Everything was so good.
I had the mac and cheese. I had the chicken sandwich. It was amazing. Anyway, so I have a lot to say about that weekend. And like for context, it was supposed to be. It's always kind of supposed to be Max, Abby, and JP who like to go to these tournaments kind of like together type
Yeah.
thing. But JP hurt his knee, but obviously he's still rolling literally right there with Sam.
Hard? Oh, with Sam?
I mean, he's been rolling hard all day.
I did some drills with the JP. He is injured.
He's injured for sure,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
he acting like he's not injured. He's right there just being silly. Like, he's limping around. But anyway, so he couldn't compete. You also needed like a day off from like a tough work week. Like, I was kind of alone and I was like, you know what? There was one guy in my bracket and I didn't want to let him down.
Yeah.
And that was that was like the predominant thought was, I don't want to let this guy down. Like, he saw that I was in the bracket. Maybe he's looking forward to this. What are the odds
True.
that he finds another freaking 40-year-old purple belt. Like, he's just not going to find it. I was like, I got to go for that guy. And that was really the bulk, the major part of my motivation. 6 hours, we're looking for hotels, we're not finding any, blah, blah, blah. Actually 7 hours because I had to go to Laval to drop off my dog. Anyways, we get there, we get to the venue. We were kind of running late because I had to find money to pay for the parking meter. Like, it was a whole thing. I had like 15 minutes to warm up. Like, I was using Jen as my warm-up partner, which...
What did she do? What, how?
Well, you know, like, I put her on her back and I just was trying to, but like, she doesn't know how to... She was a great coach. She was, honestly, her and you are my top coaches. Because you know what? Actually, I just realized why. I honestly, and this is not like in a negative way, but I don't want any technical coaching. What I need is support and like more of a, how would you maybe categorize it? It's
like moral support.
Yeah, like I need to feel supported morally in a sense, you know? And that's why both of you were amazing, really amazing coaches to me. I call her Coach J now.
Nice.
And anyway, so we get there. We tried our best to warm up. I go to the mat. They're like, it's go time. I'm like, all right, where's this guy, you know? Call his name on the mic. Call his name on the mic again. Doesn't show up. I was like, yo, Mark. His name was Mark. You screwed me, dude. Like, I drove 7 hours. I slept in this rinky-dink hotel. Like, I'm busted tired. Like,
what was the hotel?
It was a... hold on. It was not a Best Western. I think it was either a Hampton Inn or something. It sounded like that, I think, you know?
Was it better or worse than the one that we went to?
I would say worse, that particular one. The one we went to was...
That was nice, right?
Was super nice,
You know, the only thing is that I wish I would have had that breakfast included, though.
Yes. Oddly,
the waffle machine, you know?
Yes, yeah. Oddly, this place did. But, dude, the door from the staircase, when you opened it, it creaked like it was singing a song.
Wow.
Bro, it was for like 20 seconds. It was out of this world, and you can hear it throughout the whole corridor, and you can hear the cars on the street. Like, it wasn't the best located, you know? And it was run down a little bit.
You were in Jersey.
Yeah. I was in Jersey, yeah. And it was a bit run down. But ultimately, like, I'm at the tournament, I'm waiting for this guy, he doesn't show up. So I see the head table, and I go to them, and I'm like, listen, dude, can we give this guy some more time? Like, maybe he's going to show up. Can we not DQ him? Like, I drove all the way from Montreal. I'm like, it's been like 7 hours in the car, the whole like six and a half hours in the car. I'm like, it's a lot. I'm like, can we give him just an extension? So the dude's like, hey, listen, that guy's not showing up. I was like, oh. He's like, but I'll give you the option. He's like, you can go in the adult bracket if you want. And I was like, I don't think I want to mentally. Like, I was like, I don't want that at all. Like, it's like, I'm thinking about like guys like Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the younger version of a Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Even like an adult, like purple belt, I'm like, I don't want that.
That's Jersey. No, that's the thing. It's the bigger the city, the higher the competition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And the wrestling background.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're probably going to deal with a kid that has come up in the grappling universe, you know, to some extent. And like, there was a lot of fear that was like kicking in. And I was like, I don't want to. And then, you know, Coach Jay was like, hey, like, just start, we're here, just start with one match. Like, you don't have to do all of them. Like, just do one match and it'll be what it'll be type thing. And I was like, all right, we're here, you know, I'm in gear. I'm like, when's the match? He's like, it starts in 20 minutes. I got to put you in now. It's now or never. I was like, all right, throw me in there. Puts me into the thing, and then for the next 20 minutes, self-doubt, the whole shebang. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, what if I get injured? Blah, 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 blah. The whole time Coach Jay was kind of seeing this unfold through my language and stuff, and was just like, hey, you have enough skills to be able to kind of, this is not exactly her words, but she was confident enough in my ability to be like, you should be able to ward this off. And if it gets a little too crazy, just stop. And I was like, yeah, she's right. Like, I'm not a beginner. Like, I know what's up, you know? And then I watched the first match of the bracket. And, dude, they were going at it like cats. Bolo, 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 ankle locks, 50-50, 50-50, getting under each other like two cats, like just I don't even know how the ref was keeping up. I was like, what is even happening in this match? You know, I was trying to see, and I was like, all right. I get 3 matches later, I get one of them. And I learned a huge lesson that day, and that's why I'm saying this long-winded story. Because, man, matchups dictate
dude.
matches, dude.
Like, I don't think someone can be spazzy like that to someone who's a non-spaz.
Yeah, that is exactly it. And Coach Jay was saying that without saying the jiu-jitsu terms. She kept telling me, and it was only clicking after. She was like, they're going to match your energy. Like, you can, she wasn't saying it this way, but she was saying, like, you set the tone and the pace. She noticed that those 2 guys wanted that, and they were both kind of like, but she's like, you don't have to do that. Like, just be slow, and they will want to be slow. Like, they're going to match your pace. And it was exactly like that. You know, like, again, matchups determine how a match is going to look. My style is very, very difficult to deal with for somebody who wants to have that explosive kind of,
I think
we slow people down.
It might tire them out too, because they're constantly trying to move, and we're just like stopping their movement until they kind of then settle in.
Yeah,
you know?
we're trying to immobilize you, and you're at one point.
And eventually they do.
Yes.
They do, and then they play almost a different game.
That they don't know how to play.
Yeah.
That's the best part, that they literally don't know how to play. They have no idea. Once I was sinking into where I wanted to be, my opponents had no answer. No answer. I mean, almost to a point where I was shocked. I was like, this is easy.
What happened in your first match? Like, not, kind of a quick play-by-play.
Well, I wanted to pull guard, and he wanted to pull guard. So we double guard pull.
Is that the one that I saw?
Yes.
Okay. That was your first match?
That was my first match.
Okay. All right. For the audience.
For the audience. We double guard pull, and instinctively I'm like, he thinks like I'm going to just stay on my butt and play like this leg lock game and like, let's get into 50-50. But like, no, like I had no intention. So as soon as we double guard pull and I realized, oh shit, he pulled guard as well.
And you fell right into an over-under, bro.
Yeah, dude, I just passed right away.
Yeah.
And then honestly, it was just a disaster for him from there.
Yeah, it was,
like he just didn't have any answer.
You had a strong crossface, right?
Strong crossface,
Dude,
went into the mount, ended up straight collar choke him. Like, it was 16-0 before I subbed him. Like, and I'm not saying it to be like, it's just my style.
What's a straight collar choke? What do you mean?
You know, like not the bow and arrow where you grab the leg, but like I had double lapel.
Okay.
You know, so I considered a straight collar choke. So that was like, and you know, I didn't burn any of my grips. I felt fine. Then in my second match, the guy pulls guard on me and starts playing like a spider guard, like he starts playing an open guard.
Okay.
And I had been reading up a lot on like some strategies in that. I don't know if I said this to you. You know?
No, not yet.
But like the AOJ guys, like Guy Mendez and Tynan Dalpra, have something called game theory.
Yeah.
It's like an instructional where they kind of like break down a little bit of their strategic mindset. And at some point within that instructional, there's an explanation where they're like, when you're playing against a guy who loves to play open guard, your goal is to tire them out. Like, you need to almost accept that you will not pass right away.
Okay.
And if you try to, and they're too fresh, they might just sweep you.
Yeah, yeah.
And the more you rest on them, the happier they are. The more you force their grips to work by kind of pulling away, the more tired you can get them. I might be butchering a little bit this lesson, but I remember that. So as soon as this guy started playing spider, I mentally decided in that moment, and I was looking at the clock, I was like, for the next 3 minutes, I'm not going to try to pass. I'm going to do like 20% of a movement to try and pass, but always trying to just pull back. Pressure on your grips. And dude, at around the 2-3 minute mark, like I saw him huffing and puffing. And like I was like, oh man.
It's painful.
To get
dude,
and tiresome.
All the time, yeah.
And mentally draining. especially when like that is what I'm trying to do. So all of my movements are never fully committing.
Right.
It's just little movements and keeping me safe, but keeping pressure on his grips. And at one point I was like, oh man, he's done.
Are you in a little bit of an HQ position where you're kind of kneeling, or are you
trying to stay on my feet because he's playing mostly spider?
Yeah.
Trying to stay on my feet and then just pulling back and sometimes putting my knee into the crook of his knee so that I could put even more pressure into his grip. Little side-to-side motions, like trying to fake Toriandos, trying to stuff his knees a little bit.
And is he trying to go like hardcore from one side to another?
Trying to just manage me with his grip. Sometimes I'll break a grip because he's going lasso and he'll have to retake it, and I would let him retake it. And we just kept playing that game. But sadly, like when my brain mentally decided, okay, like he's gassed, now let's start really committing to our passes, and he probably will fizzle. That's what I had told myself mentally. Right when I thought that, he played like a deep, he got a deep De La Riva hook, and he forced me to kind of sit back on my knee and keep that leg extended, and
damn,
he kind of torqued my knee. And, and I was like, ah, man, like I felt it in the moment. I was like, something happened there. And then I kind of paused for a second, and then I was like, oh, I don't think it's that crazy. And then like, I just didn't have the chance to execute on the plan, which was like, okay, let's get back up and like really start passing. And then it became I kind of got I literally did get sidetracked. And then it was just him trying to sweep. No,
or no,
he didn't, because I got up fast. And then we were both standing, and then he jumped, pulled guard again with both feet on my hips.
Oh, wait, hold on.
He literally jumped, and he put both of his feet on my hips, and he slammed his back onto the floor. And I just sat back because I think he was trying to Tomonagi me.
Good job on sitting back,
I just sat back, and then we were again in that fight. And then another moment, he tried to come up for a single leg, and we were again standing. And then in that moment, I decided to pull faster than him. So now I was on my back, and it was still 0-0.
Bro, time is ticking in this match, bro. Holy fuck!
And it was, I was
that
like,
is insane, bro.
It was a grinder. But
are you like
my knee?
Are you starting to feel a sense of urgency at that point?
Because it was 0-0, and I was the guy on top the whole time. I thought in my mind, like,
yeah,
hey,
but he attempted sweeps.
Yeah, but like, he didn't even get an advantage, because you would really have to. I mean, it had to really seem as if he almost had it, and he never did.
Okay.
I would get up so quick that we would just both find each other. And now this time I pull guard, and then he had to deal with me a little bit. Eventually, I got a lasso. I inverted, and I did the omoplata sweep on him.
Nice.
He went over. I got on top. I looked at the clock.
How well do you know that sweep?
Don't know it well at all. At all. I was hoping that I would either triangle him.
Yeah. Oh.
You know,
okay.
like I would invert with the lasso and end up completely spinning through and hitting the triangle.
Okay.
But it ended up being like the way he turned, like I just kind of straightened my legs and he went over, and I came up into like you know that situation where you're between the guy's two knees, and like it was almost a half guard, but I had the leg pinned.
Perfect.
Yeah, like I could have went into my over under, but I looked at the clock and I'm like, this guy's done. He's not moving. I honestly just held him there, let the time run out. He was happy to let the time run out.
Okay. So
because he was done.
You got a sweep basically.
Yeah, I won 2-0 basically. I did that sweep and then we stayed there, but then
dude. That is a challenging match.
It was.
You finally got your real adversity. That was tough, bro. I mean, it sounds like it came down to like a last 30 seconds or something.
Honestly, what was great about that match, it came down to like that. It came down to pivotal moments where when somebody was attempting to sweep somebody, like every time he attempted to sweep me, I didn't accept it. Yeah. I had the energy in the gas tank to not accept it, and he tried twice.
Yeah.
But when I swept him, he could have scrambled to his feet. He could have, honestly, but he was done.
Yeah.
And so, I guess tactically, I was just more tactical, and I ended up getting the win. But it was definitely, it was a battle. But that other guy in Syracuse, in New York, that guy was a tougher match.
Really?
Yeah, he burned my grips out. I couldn't even close my hands after that guy. So I was happy to have finished that match, but then I felt like my knee was tight. Now, honestly, could I have continued? Yes, 100 million %. Would I be running some risk? Also, yes.
Yeah, and it's not worth it because that is not the big
Goal.
goal, right? So like you can't sacrifice small goals for the big goal. You know,
Yeah,
plus
you-
you
to
have nothing to
battle-
prove. You know, this is like preparation for Worlds. This isn't Worlds. You know, like at Worlds, if you're like, I'm injured, but I think I can go. Would you have went?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I would have had to be just say to myself, okay, you have your right knee feels super tight, so we have to adjust. What can we do right now? How can we adjust our game to do that? But I just didn't see.
We should learn. I should find that fucking video, bro. I saw a video of like a sports athlete girl taping up a knee.
Yeah,
Man, it was
Beautiful.
a work of art.
yeah,
It was so good the way she did it, man.
Yeah.
Like a carpenter. You know
I
what I
believe
mean?
it, dude. Yeah, it's like an architect.
artisan.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
so good. We need to learn that.
Dude, there are these tapes now that are pre-made in a way. They're kind of made in a way where it's like wrap around and then like do that X. Like the tape is actually like
Okay.
it looks like a bow. Like so that it can be perfectly. It's for because everybody has the same injury. We should probably just buy that on Amazon. But so we
Would we have to shave your knee?
oh yeah, I do have a hairy leg. Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, everyone has hairy legs, but
Yeah, but I
I
mean, dude, taking off that tape,
I wonder if those tapes maybe have like
those like ridge kind of tape.
no, like I was gonna say, like you know how like 3M makes glues that stick but don't stick.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? Like I wonder if those tapes have like some type of a special glue that it holds tight, but then you can remove it without pain. You know?
Yeah, like I've seen these. It's like a
Mouth tape.
The mouth tape, and the way that it's done is that it's almost like you know the arrow. You know when you're on the highway or something, and you see like those yellow signs that are like yellow V, black
Yeah.
V, yellow
Yeah,
V,
yeah.
black V, and it's kind of telling you like turn right.
Yeah.
The glue is in that same structure.
Okay.
Glue, no glue. Glue, no glue. So like it's like a V that is glue and then a V that is no glue. And because there are gaps in the glue, it kind of comes off easy. But I mean, ultimately, it's still gonna pull some hair. Like it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But yeah, I mean, we had a good tournament. We went in there for 2 matches. We did well. We learned something about mindset. We learned that just because somebody can have a fire match with another guy doesn't mean that that's how your match is going to go down. That was a big realization
Yeah.
for me, man.
Yeah.
Like a huge one.
Man. Yeah.
Because, dude, the guy that I had in my first match looked so good in his first match. I mean, he finished the guy with like probably either a straight ankle or like a knee bar. It was really pretty. I was like, whoa, that was some high level stuff. And against me, like he looked like a white belt. Because and I'm not saying this to be arrogant or to be mean towards him, but my game was his kryptonite. It was his literal kryptonite. He had no answer. When I say none, it was shocking to me to what extent. He was doing things that were so silly.
You know, I feel like the best approach to these things is neutral. You got to be neutral because let's say you go in arrogant and you know it's like so you're not super focused. You know you think no sweat, I don't have to try too hard with this guy. Then you get your ass kicked, and then the shock of that might be like
right,
bad.
right.
You know.
Yeah.
And then the opposite would be being scared of the guy so much that now you're starting to play like way too much defensive and all that. You know, it's like
Yes.
I think like in your mind you always have to be like, he's not worse than me, he's not better than me. I actually don't know, and it doesn't mean that I see him, you know, performing good against this guy that it's going to be the same thing for me.
Yes.
Like it's just the unknown. You know.
Yes.
I think like you need to be comfortable not knowing. And like not trying to like answer the questions in your head, you know, just be like, yo, we don't know. We just don't know.
That is honestly, dude, you put your finger on it so well. That is the hardest thing. Because in a weird
is,
way, like,
yeah.
is this kind of like a stoic philosophy where it's like, if you think too far in the future,
Yeah, it is,
or
it
like,
is.
like, ah, anytime.
They say so. The line is it's like most men worry. Most men worry more in imagination than in reality. So like you're worrying about things that you're like imagining, but it's not. It hasn't. It's not.
Yeah.
It hasn't come to reality yet. It might.
Yes.
It might never.
Never,
Actually,
exactly.
most things we worry about never come to reality.
Yeah. And there's that famous quote saying, "A coward dies.
I don't know that one.
A coward dies. How many deaths?
One.
No. A coward
A million
dies like a
dies.
million
Oh,
deaths." And like somebody, I don't know how it ends there. Somebody will probably correct me, but like basically implying that like if you're a person who has like courage will only die once, because the implication is that you're worrying about things that will maybe never happen,
Right. Yeah.
and you're just losing. Well, it's like no, you shouldn't be lining yourself up for like losses. Oh, that guy's better than me. That person, you know, dead. You keep dying in those moments where you're projecting yourself into future outcomes that have never really materialized.
Yeah.
But if you live in the moment,
And you become
always-
smaller and smaller. Like you yourself, you know, you take like less space. You know, you do less, you try less.
Right.
You become small, right?
Right.
Your world becomes small.
Right. Exactly. But it's the really is the thing of like you haven't even had the match, but you've lost because you're thinking, oh my God, he's better than me, or he's stronger than me, or
What
he's
about
not-
the nerves?
how though like in competition for me, or how did I feel on this last one?
Yeah. How did you feel in this last one compared to the other ones? Let's say.
I'm having, if I'm like being as transparent as I could possibly be, I'm having a hard time regulating that as of late for some odd reason. It's almost as if the
But you know what?
nerves are
Let's
getting
not say that
higher.
it's a hard time though.
Yeah.
Let's just say that that is what's happening. You know.
Yeah, right, exactly. So to date, I feel it getting easier because I'm going to try to use the better language. I feel it getting easier because I have the expectation that's of what's going, not the expectation. I have the experience from my past to know a little bit of like, okay, this is where you're going to, this is how you've been dealing with these scenarios. This is how it's peaking. And like I can feel it bubble up inside of me. And there are times where I feel honestly like it's almost like I have a leash on an animal. Like there are times where I'm like holding that leash and like I'm capable of controlling that. And then there are other times where I have felt like when that guy didn't show up and then I had to go into the adult bracket,
Yeah.
like the
that-
leash got cut, dude.
Yeah.
And the animal was like, ah! And I was like, whoa, what am I doing? What am I thinking? Like,
Yeah.
I started thinking about injury. I started thinking about, do I have the cardio? I started thinking about blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah. And I was like, it was running. Whereas prior, it's like I had that monster under control.
Yes.
And then when I was thrown a curveball, it escaped me and my thoughts escaped me. And that's why like Jen was so good for me in that moment, is because, again, like I don't want technical advice from anybody.
Yeah.
Like as arrogant as that sounds, like I know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like you cannot help me right now. Like all you in a technical sense, but how you can help me is by helping me tame that monster. So
But that's such a curveball, man.
yeah, it threw me
Like,
off big time.
Bro, like that, like victory aside, like that's the heroic moment, bro. To be like, you know,
Accept
just,
the challenge.
yeah, except, well, but yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, you know, you prepare for something and you prepare your mind for something, and then it's something else, and it's not even something else, it's something else that's offered.
Yes.
So you have the option to run.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's like, your mind will be like, good, we didn't want to do this anyway.
Yeah.
We have it out.
Perfect out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Perfect out.
for you to have Jen with you and be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, it was a serendipity.
It's like
honestly.
everything in your body is telling you to run.
Yeah.
But somehow you were like, I'm not gonna run. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, honestly, I also didn't want to, if I'm going to be very honest, like, I also didn't want to, like, with your significant other, you don't want to come across as, you know, meek and weak. There was a part of that was ego.
Huh.
You know, I was like, yo, me with my wife, I'm not running from this. Like, no way. Like, I won't lie, there is a part of it that's that, you know? But I mean, obviously, that's one part of it. But there are a lot of things that coming together gave me I used those little pieces to kind of find a way to be like, okay, let's do it.
That is kind of a
Little pieces,
Dude.
bro. I drove 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
So what? Like, I'm capable.
Yeah.
You know, like, I have nothing to lose. They have something to lose. I'm the old guy. You know, like, any way that I could to try and find a way to put my foot in the sand, if you would.
It's a beautiful story, man.
Ah,
Just
thanks,
the you, the Jen, the competition.
Yeah, actually, it was a great experience. She was like, hey, I love jujitsu. She's like, we need to go to more competitions. I was like, no, I do want to, obviously, but
Yeah.
like jokingly being like, this is hard, my ups and downs of
Yeah.
what. She's like, yeah, I want to come to more competitions. I'm like, yeah, she loves it. She's super competitive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen is super competitive. So it was fun, man. It was a good experience. And now the culmination and honestly part of the mindset of like when the knee was tight was we have the Ontario Open this after tomorrow.
Yes.
And for me, doing my best there for whatever reason was worth more to me than that day.
How's your knee now?
Super tight. Like I was walking a little bit today, and I was like, wow, my knee is super tight. I haven't trained since, but I'm confident that I'm gonna bring some massage ball stuff. I'm gonna wake up super early the day of the competition. Nice. That could be a lot of things, Max. We could be in a gunfight, or firecrackers. I mean, we'll gotta wait and find out on the news. If they didn't hear that, we just heard like a lot of crackles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take it really seriously. Obviously, I will. Like morning of, I'm waking up. I'm going to do all the releases, all the stretches possible. Oh, your spider sense is kicking?
No. Like I'm just thinking, like if someone does walk in with a gun, you know, there's a post there.
These are concrete posts.
Yeah.
If somebody were, I love this game, by the way. What do you think in this room, God forbid, but let's just play the game. Somebody walks in with a paintball gun and he wants to paintball us. And his name is Sam, because Sam just wants to paintball our bald heads. What do you think is the best move to not get hit with a paintball?
The thing is that probably the smartest thing is to, as fast as you possibly can, go through that door and exit through the back.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if he has a gun, even if you hide, it's like that thing of like you can run but you can't hide.
Yeah, right, exactly. So hiding can only last so long.
Remember that was like a phrase used in old action movies a lot, and now it just I haven't heard. You can run but you can't hide.
Yeah. And
when a bad guy would chase a good guy, they would always say that.
Yes.
You can run but you can't hide.
Yeah. What does that even really mean?
It means that like if I hide behind this pole, eventually he's gonna fight. Like I have to.
Are you sure that's what we're saying? You can run.
I can run. I can run, right? I can get out, but I cannot hide. Like if I hide, he's gonna find me and kill me. I gotta keep on running.
I don't know.
What do you think it means?
It's like you can't escape this fate is what I think it means.
By hiding. Why would it be you can run, but
Because,
you cannot hide?
I think it's one of those things like I think it's even a bigger metaphor than it is literal. It's kind of like saying, dude,
eventually I'm gonna catch you.
like let's say I don't know, let's say in life you have like a fear of I don't know X, and I can say to you, dude, like you can run from this, but you can't hide. Like it will seek you out. It will find you. Like this is not something you can hide from.
Right.
And
Yeah,
like I think
okay.
the murderer in that sense is being like, no matter what, dude, I am gonna kill you.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's not so literal. It's more like, dude, I'm telling you, I'm like your shadow. Like I will get you. Like it doesn't matter where you are. You can go to the end of the world,
Dude, do you
and I'll still
remember-
find you and kill you.
Do you remember the old Batmans when the Joker would always get away?
Yes.
Because if Batman caught Joker, I guess in like the writer's mind, I was like, well, it's done. He caught him.
Game over.
So
yes.
he would always fucking get
Yes,
away.
get away.
And it made Batman look like a bitch, bro.
Poor Batman.
He never caught Joker.
Yes.
He always ended up like
Yes.
tied up, and
Yeah.
Joker would be like, ha, and run away. Like, what a useless
Yes,
Batman. He
you're right.
fails every
Every
fucking
time.
time.
That's the best. You know what I love about the Batman Joker? That whole dynamic
Yeah.
is like somebody pointed out to me how they need each other, which really made me be like, whoa, like that is kind of crazy.
It's a codependent relationship.
Dude, it's a codependent
Yeah.
relationship. It's kind of wild
Yeah.
because there's this weird, like if you really follow the story or whatever it is, like
The lore.
Joker only really exists because of Batman exists.
Why?
Because he loves that chase. The Joker loves that there's a Batman. Joker doesn't want money. There's nothing that
No, he wants chaos.
yes. And so the chaos, let's say he were to rule in a bad way, like that would not suit him. He doesn't want that. He wants a scramble. Like he wants to be able to mix it up with somebody who is of equal with him. But if he were to just dominate, the Joker would not want to do what he does. He needs chaos. And the only opposing force to him is Batman.
Yeah.
And there's like an argument that if you remove Batman and Joker were to just rule,
Yeah.
Joker would just be like, I don't want to do this anymore.
You don't think he'd be like a evil dictator, like?
No, I don't. That's the thing. Those guys want power. Joker doesn't want those things. Joker,
What does he want?
He wants that chaos. He wants that fight. He wants that thing. And if there's nobody to fight him, he might disappear.
To where?
Like it's just his.
Where
reason,
would he go?
His reason for being is no longer.
Yeah, but what? He would kill himself?
No, like he would maybe just
I
literally.
think he would destroy the world with him. He wouldn't go away, dude. He would
Yes,
destroy the
as
world.
long as there's someone to fight him, he
no,
will
no,
fight.
no. But what I'm saying is that if there's no Batman, I do think Joker would burn everything down. He would.
Yes.
He would fuck up. You think he would suicide? He would kill himself?
I think he would reach that pinnacle.
Yeah.
And then it would be done for him.
Where would he go, bro? He would retire to an island
Yeah,
and
something like
chill
that.
out on the beach.
He would lose
No.
He would lose his purpose. I know, as silly and crazy as this conversation sounds, he would lose his purpose.
Yeah, but then he would turn to drugs and alcohol.
I guess. I
But
don't know.
but what I'm saying
Why
is that
drugs and alcohol?
because he's in pain, dude. That's why hurt people hurt people.
That makes sense.
And if you got nobody else to hurt, you're gonna turn to yourself.
dude, honestly, that's deep. You're right.
But the thing is that I don't think that I forget what I was gonna say.
Dude, there's like a yin and yang situation here. You're just saying like with the direction you were going in is that you don't think that if Batman were to
No, okay, hold
disappear,
on.
you don't think he would just disappear.
I don't think he would let people be okay. I don't think he would ever go away, is what I'm saying. He would be sure that everything is in disorder at all times.
Here's a silly thing. If there was a mat bully, like in the jiu-jitsu gym,
Yeah.
a bully,
Yeah.
and he had nobody to bully. Actually,
No, they always
contrarily,
find- they
I know,
always find
but let's
people to
just
bully.
imagine that there is nobody to bully.
Yeah. He would go to another gym.
But let's imagine there's nothing left. What happens to that person's persona?
No, dude. That's not how the world works.
I mean, yes, obviously, but I'm saying let's just take that example to the extremist, to the
Okay.
most great.
Okay.
If there's a mat bully and he has nobody to bully, actually, everybody in the gym, they're bigger than him and stronger than him. What does it do to him? He loses that person that he was is not that person. And
yeah, you're right. Okay, so
there's this weird thing where you need somebody.
Yeah.
You need if you're super evil, you need someone who's super good.
Is the
to
bully
give you
getting
this
bullied
fight.
by his dad? You know, like bullies are
Yeah, the
like that
victims of
because of like
bullies.
some abuse thing, right? Does he still have an abuser in his life or no?
I mean, let's act like he's 50 and his old man or whatever, his uncle or whoever was his abuser passed away.
I think he would do a lot of self-reflection, I guess.
You know, like in Star Wars, they talk about like the Force, which is like the Jedis, and then
I guess he would do a lot of self-reflection.
Oh, sorry. Let me process that. Yeah, there you go. Like, because what would happen? He lost the fuel that is him is the opposing force that he's constantly fighting. And that is the Joker and
Well, I
Batman.
mean, if he's a bully, he's bullying someone who's weaker than him.
Yeah. Or that he has that power over.
Okay.
Or that dynamic with.
Yes. So you think that the Joker would self-reflect?
I think that if there is no Batman, the Joker...
No, but wait. In this scenario, it's not
Batman
that the Joker...
is just as extreme as the Joker.
I know, but in this scenario, it's not that the Joker has no more Batman. It's that all the citizens of Gotham are a Batman, and he has no one to bully. What I'm saying is that if the Joker can cause chaos, he's never going to let the citizens of Gotham have a life. He's always going to want to keep everything fucked up.
Yes. Until that's...
That's a job, no?
Yeah, it is.
That should keep him busy.
Until it's mission accomplished. And then but his big thing is Batman.
But if he leaves...
His reason for
I know,
living
but hold
is
on.
Batman.
If he leaves and the city starts to get better, he's going to come back.
Sure, that's true. That is true. Like a flower will grow.
That's why you need a Batman, bro.
Do you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I'm all for it. I'm a big Batman guy. I just pointing out that when somebody pointed out to me that you always need the opposing dynamic in order to maintain this dynamic.
Yes, but it's not true, dude.
No,
because if Batman's not there, Joker's gonna ruin everything.
Yeah.
Dude, if there's a bully in here and everyone's weak, the bully's gonna ruin everything. We had this experience, bro. You need an opposing force to create stability in the world.
Yeah, yin and yang. That's so what you're saying is what my point is. You just finished saying.
No.
You need an opposing force to create stability. No. And what I'm saying to you...
But you're removing Batman. I'm
yes,
saying...
in a weird way, we're removing the opposing force.
Yes, but then if you remove the opposing force that's good,
what happens?
All you're left with is bad.
Which is a stability.
Yeah, but it's chaos. No one is happy.
Agreed. But...
Yeah, but it's hell.
It is.
Well, so in your analogy, why don't you remove the Joker?
That also is real. That's kind of the thing. Batman that's actually the easier way to say it. If Batman has no bad guys.
Okay, so then Batman, I think,
would not exist if there is no Joker.
Yes, but I think
or any bad guys. Why is the opposite not true?
No, because Batman doesn't want to destroy stuff. I think Batman, if there was no Joker, he would just be okay running Wayne Industries. He doesn't need to cause chaos.
Batman does need to be this guy. That's the whole thing.
He could be another guy.
That's the whole thing, dude. He can't. Batman can't. Like, he can't be a normal dude. He just can't.
I think he could.
I mean, I'd like to believe that.
I have more faith that Batman can chill than Joker can chill.
I think that's where, like, me and you disagree, where I'm like, we're on the same end of the spectrum with both of them.
You think Batman would be like a...
Dude, here's a good one.
Whoa, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You think Batman would be a power-corrupt cop type of thing?
No. I think that he just will be like, yo, I have nothing to do. My whole thing is...
Or he'd be power-tripping.
No. He would just have no purpose. If there are no bad guys.
Yes, but he can chill. He wouldn't need to fuck everybody else up.
But he will lose himself and Batman will no longer exist.
Yes, but there's no reason for a Batman. Bruce Wayne would still be alive and he would just be Bruce Wayne.
I mean, yes, again, The point is that Batman, not Bruce Wayne, Batman would cease to exist.
Yes, but
Because the Joker
Yes,
or bad
but-
guys are gone.
but Bruce Wayne, Bruce Wayne can't exist without being Batman.
you
The
kn-
Joker cannot exist without being the Joker.
They need each other. Is what we're saying. Bro, you know that you made me watch this documentary about these spray paint guys.
Yeah.
What are they called again? Like they
Graffiti artists.
Graffiti artists.
Writers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was this one dude
Yeah.
whose only purpose in this documentary was to what?
Erase the graffiti.
Erase the graffiti.
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah.
would go around town
Yeah.
looking, and he was like, I mean, like, he's like their pure nemesis. Like, they're putting up these graffiti, taking all this time, and he's coming in there with his white paint, taking it off, and
Yeah.
being like, what do you think of that dynamic? If there are no more graffiti artists,
Yeah.
what
doesn't-
happens to
yeah,
that guy?
Yes. But if he doesn't exist, graffiti goes on.
Sure. Assuming, like, but let's imagine that he's like Batman level graffiti. There would be like this super crazy graffiti artist who will be like, yo, I got to take this guy out kind of thing.
I'm not sure that
You see it on one side,
Yeah.
where on the side of like, if there's no more graffiti, that guy ceases to exist.
Yes.
But you don't want to see it the other way.
If there's no graffiti, that guy ceases to exist. If that guy doesn't exist, then there's no more graffiti.
To a certain extent.
What's the other way?
If the other way is like, if people didn't care about the graffiti and it was like, it's okay to do it, or maybe it's politically correct, or maybe it's just accepted, maybe it's not dark, maybe it's not, maybe people are just like, I don't want to do this. I don't care. There's no opposing force to me. If there's no opposing force, then maybe I don't care.
Yeah.
That is the
maybe.
thing about a little bit of anarchy and the what
Yeah,
they
maybe.
like.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to imagine the complete other
No,
side of that
you're-
spectrum, but
No, you're right. Yeah,
the
yeah.
Joker feeds off of that.
Yeah,
Like the spray paint guys, they love that.
yeah.
They love that I'm being chased. This is not right. But if we're all like, yo, this is mainstream and actually this is fine. We'll even pay you to do it. Some of those guys will just be like, I don't want to do this. I won't do this. It's hard. It's silly, this exercise that we're doing. But dude, they need each other. Batman, the Joker to me is just, I don't know. Maybe we could agree to disagree, but like,
It's time for a question,
time for a question.
dude. We could go. We could go on this forever.
I think so too, because this isn't, in a sense, if we
Dude.
boiled it down, there's a philosophical debate here.
This
that's
is gonna
happening.
turn into the thing of not like at the end of an argument, you're like, I understand you, but do you understand me?
Stupid!
Dude, this is a full box.
Man, we're getting the jackpot.
This is good.
This is good. Fear. Fear has stricken in your eyes, Max. I don't like this. Do they have to work on their grammar and their syntax?
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I'm having a hard time reading it.
Yeah. Have you?
Have you seen Hugo?
No. Whoever is saying this is trying to get us to say a word. Have you seen Hugh Janus? You get it?
Yeah.
Have you seen Hugh Janus White Belt series? Huge.
The Hugh Janus White Belt series.
Yes.
Okay. Hugh Janus. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Whoever wrote
I
that?
haven't seen it.
Yes, we have not seen any Hugh Janus yet, but I
White
appreciate the
Belt
question.
series.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna let you read this one. It's a lot. This is a guy. I would say this is a guy font.
Creativity. Going with the flow. Blah blah blah. It could be experimenting. So, creativity, going with the flow, experimenting versus by the book. The role of each in BJJ development, and can there be a space for both as a white belt? Or is creating only powerful, or is
Interesting.
creativity only powerful once you